The Library Trustees meeting on Thursday, March 12th. Is there anybody taping the meeting besides LakeCAM? I don't think so.
And who is our LakeCAM person?
This is Kevin.
Kevin?
Hi, Kevin. Thanks for coming, Kevin.
This is Evan.
Oh, Evan. Thanks for coming,
right?
Evan.
Oh,
Just
sorry,
rhymes with
Evan.
Evan. Okay, LakeCAM.
Okay, we have the secretary's reports. I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes of February 26th.
Oh, how about February 6th? Did you say that?
Sorry, February 6th, yes. I have to write 6 at the end.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Okay, the financial report. JV, anything?
Per the usual, nothing really to report. I will start really paying attention, I do all year, but to materials spending to make sure that we meet that 16% requirement. I think I've spent already what we need to out of state aid, so then I'll just make sure that the book line, audio and video end up being depleted. But like I said, everything seems to be in line. Heating's still great.
Heating, yeah?
Yeah.
I know.
As compared to this.
And the prices have gone down
As
big
compared to
time.
this time last year, I kind of
Yeah.
have it, I always do a side by side just to make sure
Yeah.
we're gonna have enough. And like I said, the fact that we're only at 52.2%, and I probably will only get one more fill up,
Yeah,
by the end of the season, maybe two, to just top off before we're done. That's great. But,
good.
yeah.
That's terrific. Any other budget items you want to mention, or you all set?
No, all set.
Any questions of the trustees? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, maybe the only thing to note is other contracted services is somewhat higher than we usually have been because we haven't been doing the fertilization. Like we only had one fertilization of the grounds last year, so
Only
and
one,
I'm
huh?
yeah, I since the changeover, it's not been as consistent. And we got the letter to renew the it's not a contract, but to renew the services for next year. But I included in my director's report that we're trying to coordinate with the other town departments for the grounds maintenance. So that
Okay.
will including the library on a bigger picture
Okay.
plan. So I don't know where that's gonna end up, but I'll have some more information probably by next month.
Okay, next item is the director's report.
So February, we were relatively quiet for adult programs, but we had February vacation, which is always a very big week and busy time here at the library. Miss Teresa had a performance by Ooch. There was quite a bit of people in the building at that point. Like I said, golf in the library was held on Sunday, February 23rd. There were over 150 people that came through the building that day, so
Awesome.
it worked out to be a great day. We weren't sure because the weather was so nice that you wondered if people would
Just the
want to be
opposite.
would want to be inside. So it was great. We didn't have to worry about a snow day, and people still came into the building, and the Friends raised over $700 for library programs and
Cool.
services.
Great job.
They have also voted to adopt a new museum pass, so we will now begin offering the Children's Museum of Greater Fall River to our patrons, and this pass offers free admission for up to 4 people. So, yeah, it's like we've had Boston Children's Museum, but that's a ride and a day's commitment. This is a more local venue.
I know, I've been there.
Yeah. So we'll provide an alternative for people, and the fact that it's free admission is great. Let's see, Great Ponds Gallery, although that's later on the agenda, so we'll talk about that. And we've got a few upcoming events in March. So we're doing the Cookbook Book Club on Monday, March 23rd. There's going to be a new energy workshop with Middleborough Gas and Electric reached out to me to see if we would be able to help them have a workshop for the public to do informational, educational workshop on electric vehicles. So they're planning to do that on the 23rd to give people the opportunity to learn about what that is and figure out.
I think
if
you meant
it's-
the 28th.
Oh, the 28th, yes, on the 28th of March. And then we'll have a program in April, the Fashions of Downton Abbey, on Thursday, April 16th. So this is a grant-funded program from the Arts Council, and we'll have a woman who has kind of background in costume design and textiles. She brings outfits and pieces from the time, so it'll be part presentation, part show and tell. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback about that already, so I anticipate we'll have a...
Is that a sign up?
No, it'll be in the big room, so we won't have to limit necessarily.
So I guess at this point, with the coronavirus going on, I would think that it's up to the trustees, but I would say that, Jamie should let us know if we should cancel any of these meetings.
Yeah, I actually added something to your packet.
Oh,
that I
okay.
figured
All right, I'll wait then.
But we could talk about it now because it is really related to programming. I mean, right now, this is sort of whether or not we put out a statement. Like I said, at this point, I've reached out to the health agent just to get some feedback about what his thoughts are related to our regularly scheduled programs. What's happening here now, really out of an abundance of caution, is just an extra cleaning effort. So we're taking care of the high-touch areas and equipment on a regular basis throughout the day. We've removed the toys from the children's room, and we're not loaning headphones because some of these things, like, people are touching, and we would hope that folks, if they're not well, would think about staying home as opposed to coming to the library if they are sick or have worried about having been in contact with someone. But like I said, at this point, no decision. I mean, I'm not asking you for a decision about canceling programs. It seems like most libraries are in the place of it's business as usual. We're stepping up cleaning, and then looking to the health experts and other authorities about guidance related to program canceling. But at this point, most of what we do is probably under 50 people. Like, even, if we have story hour, there's anywhere from 20 to 30. And a lot of the other programs would be that. The only concern I really have is probably school vacation week, and that's like the third week in April. So I figure we may have more information by then. But as of now, it seems like, at least from the public library perspective, everybody's kind of business as usual. My only other concern here, and we'll see what happens, is now that all of the colleges and universities seem to be closing down and not having all of their students going back to the dorms, and being expected to stay at home and doing coursework online, whether or not, if they don't have access at home, if we're going to see an increase in foot traffic in the building. But, the computers, where they're situated, there's space in between them, and like I said, maybe it's going to be a matter of having a wipe station where we ask people to clean before they use, clean after they use, something like that. But that's more will be in response to if we see an uptick in foot traffic based on.
Okay, so you want to put this out on the website?
Yeah, I would want to put this either on the door and on the website. And like I said, I've reached out to the health agent, and I'll follow up if I get any other information that's
Okay.
more relevant.
Any questions, trustees? No? Okay, and statistics, I guess?
Yeah, I just always do the monthly statistics as part of the annual report. As part of the monthly report. I don't have anything in particular to, I do them on a monthly basis so then we can compile them at the end of the year. And I've done that for the annual report for 2019.
Okay. Are we going to buildings and grounds, or are we going to this?
The 2019 annual report. Yeah, I've given you a copy. I have to submit it
Oh, I'm
to
sorry.
town today. I guess in terms of saying anything about it, it's kind of a standard, we have a standard setup for it. But just to make people aware, that we are very grateful to the Lakeville Cultural Council for awarding us grants. It supports all the school vacation week and summer reading programs, or most of them. The Savas Fund also allows us to do additional STEM-themed programs for children throughout the year. This year we did Mad Science, Dino Man Space, an escape room, and continued with Coding with Dash and Dot. Of course, we have all kinds of other programs going out throughout the year, regular monthly book groups and author talks. We hosted a series of programs for for adults as well. Again, the Cultural Council funded ones were ukulele lessons and Owls of New England. So we appreciate the Cultural Council for sponsoring grants for programs, Savas Fund for supporting them, and also our Friends of the Library, because a lot of the programming funding, especially in the children's area, comes from the support of the Friends. So we give and always do a tabulation of annual statistics for the library. That's on the last page of that annual report. And then for you, what I've also done, this is the sheet that has kind of the orange tabulation, is just taking a look at, I'm going to call this like a 5-year look back in terms of where we were from 2014 until now, and showing the percent changes over time. So, attendance at both youth and adult programs has increased. From last year, for example, adult programming went up by 19%. Over the 5 years since I've been here, children's or youth programming has gone up 26%, and people are still borrowing things.
Really?
I know, it's like, well, people are still borrowing physical items.
The statistics are showing that the library's being, very well utilized here. I mean, talking 20%, 17%. Total circulation is up.
Yeah, it's like the total, our physical circulation from last year is up 5%. Overall, it's up 1%. But then when you look at what's happening is the ebooks and downloadable content really has exploded. The ebooks alone and downloadable audio are up 118% from 5 years ago. So, it's just growing and growing and growing. Holdings are steady. I just always include that. It's always been part of the annual report, but there's not really change that happens. So at this point, we're kind of at capacity for the collection. But I guess you'd see that purchasing in ebooks and downloadable audiobooks has gone up. That's in part because of the network investing more money in it as well. It's not just representative. Like, those particular titles are not Lakeville specific. There are some in there that are Lakeville specific, but it's the network overall is investing in ebook content, and we're seeing people use it every month.
Okay, good job.
Thank you.
Okay, buildings and grounds.
I don't actually have anything to report. There's no problems.
Well,
I know
see
they've
some
dropped.
exciting thing out
I was
there.
gonna say they dropped that off yesterday. So prior to preparing my report, it's like, oh, that's happened.
Yeah, he's out there fixing the irrigation system, I saw him.
Yep,
So
it
that's
looks
good.
like they're
Looks like they're ready
preparing.
to grow grass, so that's good.
And Bob Barrick, who's a junior at Old Colony, came and did community service here, removing materials from the barrels and helping me do almost half of the old gardens gone.
Oh, really?
So,
Oh.
yeah, we're gonna get ready I'm trying to get ahead so that we can be ready for loom seeding over there. So, we're working forward. And I'll be filling the New Norris Gardens this week, I hope, with potting material.
So we don't have to have anybody come and clean up the
Right. So that's what we're working on now, is figuring out the continued cleanup in terms of throughout the spring and into summer, where that's going to go. Because it's in really good shape right now. Ted.
We have to mulch, right?
Right, we have to mulch, so
Okay.
that's where I say like we're coordinating that effort about grounds maintenance in general, so it includes the grass maintenance and the garden maintenance and pulling this project in, so overall we're working with the other town departments, and yeah, I think we probably won't have to have an outside service as long as there's support from town to have the labor available, because that's the question, is whether or not there's gonna be any seasonal help for that, and
Well, there is gonna be seasonal
I
help.
was gonna say, I
know
said to
that-
Ted,
know
I would,
that
if
for
you
sure.
need us to help advocate for that, I'd be more than willing to speak to
Yeah.
what our needs have been, but like I said, we're kind of trying to work through the finer details of that for the fertilization, the cleaning, the mulching.
And if we're not going to have people weeding stone areas,
I hope so.
which is like the thing that is
Yeah, this
never
one-
ending.
this one's
And
huge.
that's gonna make such a big difference on the flagpole area, with
It's
just.
just like the other one over there, you
Yes.
know? It's
The
really-
other one over there
Right,
is
that
minor,
would-
but that's got mulch, but this is,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that, once it kind of got sprayed, it's more manageable, but this, it seemed like no matter what was being tried, we just couldn't
Right.
keep it under
No.
wraps.
the
And it
the
just was
stones.
so visible too, you know, you drive in and, oh.
Yeah.
So
You-
now.
You might wanna make sure that, you know, since there's a lot of traffic here, that you get some of those sticks that, well, the highway department will have some sticks, you know, so they can block it off till the grass grows, because, you know, it's not picking on
Skateboarders.
kids, but they'll walk through
walk
and
through
ride
it
their
and all
bikes
that.
across and whatever, so.
Yeah, I think they had sticks for the snow, but then took them out as they,
Yeah.
you know, well, since we pretty much didn't have snow this year, but. yeah,
Okay,
that's-
anything else in buildings and
More than
grounds
any-
that need to be brought up?
No, just we need to talk to the highway
highway
surveyor
about
about the
the-
white pines
Right, the white
in the
pines in
back.
the back, that was.
Oh, I did
part of-
mention that to him, yeah.
We lost the top out of one, but it dropped,
Yeah,
so that was good, it didn't go flying into our roof, so we need to have him at least make a determination whether that's something they're capable of doing or want to do.
Yeah,
And if
depends
not, we
upon
need
what
to
it is,
get
yeah.
a service in
right.
to do it, take them out.
Oh,
Okay.
did talk to
Yeah, I'll
Frank.
follow up with that, yeah.
That it?
Okay.
Great Bonds Gallery?
I have minutes from, well, the last approved minutes. Which, it was not a very informational meeting, so, right now we have the high school exhibit up, it's Old Colony and Aponequid. And, it's really a standout exhibit from the
Is it?
students. They just get better and better every year.
That's
It's
good.
very good. And after, we also, Joanne is running a challenge exhibit of black and white art. So we are actively looking for artists to apply to that. The deadline for applications is April 30th. And that's it. We're, how far ahead are we scheduled there? 2 years?
September 22?
22?
Yeah.
Wow,
So,
that's great.
yeah, we're happy with that, and we are actively taking applications all the time, so the artists are sending in.
Okay.
And if anyone sells anything, it has to remain for the length of this
Absolutely,
exhibit.
right.
And then we anticipate that the artist would make sure that the library gallery committee receives a 10%.
Well, that is the agreement. When the application is signed, it states that the artist understands that's our agreement. It is a donation, however.
Okay, any other business?
Did we do gifts and endowments and bricks?
Oh, that's not on the agenda. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped it, my fault. Gifts and endowments and bricks, is there anything that has to do with that?
I'm sending out the brick order today or tomorrow. I have about 6 bricks. I had tried at the beginning of this cycle to hold off and make this once we accumulated a good number of orders, and we were contacted by a patron who was very upset about it. She had ordered a memorial brick for one parent, and now the other one had passed away, and she was very disappointed. And Jamie and I talked about it. It just made sense to have this as a yearly project. It's, a little bit less in the income because we have to pay a setup fee each time, but we're really there to service the patrons on this, so it still is a fundraiser per se, but we're happy to do that.
Okay. Anything else?
The endowment? Anything on the endowment?
You mean the Savas one?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to look at that right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Tell you what.
We won't be taking any.
Oh, the
money.
stock market's where it is,
Listen,
yeah.
all I had to, I have what
there
has already
there is
been put
interest,
into.
that it's available that could be used if we needed to, but I'm afraid to look at it right now.
Are we planning on using the money for programming in the
For
summer?
programming in the summer,
Okay.
yes, Mysteries
Okay,
Programming
so-
and the children in the
So
summer.
you've been sponsoring 3 programs with it in the summer, STEAM themed programs, so she will continue to do that. So there's money in the separate account that we can
Oh, okay,
expect.
all right.
Right, I never see where the investment piece of it is.
Yeah.
I just know what we already have access to, and there's money there to do the programming without a problem.
Okay, good. Anything else?
I think so.
I have.
Next meeting?
Anyone throw a date out?
16th?
If-
Is that vacation week?
No, the
16th?
following week.
It's the week of the 20th, the 19th through the 20th.
16th?
16th,
Works for me.
That's fine.
Okay, 10:30?
10:30.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn at 10:54.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.